Kettle's boiled. Brew anyone? Hey everybody, and welcome back to Koi Pond Lifestyle. So what have we got on today? As you just seen in the intro there, I've made those little adjustments from last time when I did my KPL waste extractor from the Vortex, made a couple of things, and it nails everything now. Takes the waste away completely, 7 seconds. So if you've not seen that video, you wonder what the hell I'm talking about, I'll leave a link. No, there. I don't know, either there or there, and I'll put a description in the bottom as well. You can have a look at that video. I was basically trying to extract all the waste from the bottom of my Vortex following a comment that somebody made, and just open it for a few seconds and it'll just drain it off, and it didn't. So I've just adjusted things to make that work now. So I'm just updating everybody who is a regular to my channel. I've made that adjustment. I just thought I'd show you quickly there a little bit of material that I saw, opened it for about 5 or 6 seconds, maybe 7 seconds, close it back off again, completely empty. Ka-ching. We move on. So what else have we got on today? We're going to be looking at a quick look at the fish, see how they're doing in there. I've not been in with the camera for a while with the GoPro, so we'll dunk you in there and you can go for a swim around with the fishies and in the pond, see how everybody's getting on. Got a couple of jobs to do in and around the filter system today, so I'm going to do a few routine maintenance stuff today, and then I might have a little bit of a surprise later on, a little bit of a trip out. I'll talk to you about that in a bit, so let's get cracked on with some stuff. Right, so just doing a bit of routine cleaning really. That bay obviously you've just seen in the intro, you just whiz that open, that's self-cleans itself now, I thank you. The brushes area is still collecting the bits that get through the Vortex now. I'm going to put the brushes back into the Vortex today because they've been out for a little while, just while I've been seeing how the extractor's been going, so now I'm happy with that. I'm going to put the brushes back in and stop as much rubbish coming through to the second bay of brushes. My KK1000 media is doing a really good job, and again in my last video I was telling you about how I found a lot of the Evolution Aqua, the balls that you can put in. I'm starting to find them now in my KK1000, so we're actually seeing them in there as well, and that's great. That's no problem for me. Saves me sort of spending more money on them when there's already some in the system. So I'm just going to kind of leave that. Now, as you can probably see from where you are now, is that my KK1000 is still climbing the walls that I have to knock back in every now and again. So personally, I think I've got a bit too much KK1000 in there, to the point where, you know, it is climbing the walls, because it's only when the pumps are running. So when the air is blowing, the force of the water seems to push it up the barrier thing I put here. So I've stopped it climbing over. That's not the problem. The problem is that, you know, every couple of days I have to come back in, grab a little piece of wood and knock it all back down again, knock it back down in the water. So I'm going to start looking into why that is and how I can stop that happening. Also, just while we're here, I was looking at some articles on social media the other day about people and how people manage their ponds in different countries outside the UK. You know, we've got a lot of people who watch these channels from America, Asia, South America, North America, Canada, Australia. Hello everybody. And I was just very curious about how people manage their ponds in different weather conditions. You know, at the moment in the UK it's really cold and windy. I've got some roof tiles that I've got to replace at some point in the near future. But there was one article that caught my eye from a gentleman who lives in Iceland, who took some video of what he believed was a koi. It looked like an orange orangi ogun, like a little bit like OJ, one of my fish. And I was reading about that, and yeah, it was in a local sort of a lake or somewhere near Reykjavík, and he believed it was a koi carp, which was interesting. So I thought, wow, surely not. Surely in Iceland, you know, Iceland, it's cold over there, isn't it? Isn't it cold? But then in the summer it's supposed to be quite nice. So anyway, I think the only way we can get to see it is to go and visit. So there's only one way to find out, is to go to Iceland. Joe, pack a bag. We're going to Iceland. Not shopping. We're going to the place. Let's go find out. Welcome to Iceland. I think it's windy at home. Okay, so Iceland. I've been here a little while now, had a look around, spoke to loads of the locals about koi fish. They can send me lots of cod, they can send me lots of monkfish, fermented shark, but no koi. Loads of people said to me, I asked loads of people where the koi, and of the 310,000 people that live in Iceland, not one of them had a clue what I was talking about, all looking at me and giving me a bit of a smile. Crazy Englishman. And I went. So there's no koi here. Just very, very cold, very, very windy. So let's get back to getting them filters finished. It's too cold here. Woohoo! Oh, there you go. Blooming cold over there. Oh my god. Iceland, what a beautiful place Iceland was. Flipping heck. Iceland, a little bit of history about Iceland. First settlers were the Norwegian Vikings, who were then fishermen and warriors. Came over to use Iceland as a stop-off when they were out fishing. Then they started to create settlements on there. Brought the families over, brought all the horses and whatever over, and settled on Iceland, and they made it their home. A lot of them became farmers and started farming the land and creating a little bit more food and for their families and whatnot. And then Iceland really, over the years leading up to the Second World War, was basically very hard to get to because of the horrible Atlantic seas around it, until the Second World War, when the British went over and created the first local airport, so they could make stops in there and use it as a base through the Second World War. And it was only until the Americans got there and made, which is now Keflavik. Anyway, the main airport, that it became open to everybody now. And then there's loads of people go to that place. Like I said, when we were there was every nationality. I met a lot of Italian people over there was lots of Americans, there was lots of French and Asian. There was loads of different nationalities, everybody getting over there, but it was so cold. Something else that Iceland is very famous for as well is during the Cold War, that was the place where Reagan and, was it Gorbachev? They both sat down for a few days and discussed the Cold War and negotiated how to get it ended, and ended the Cold War there. They got this great big, lovely big white house on the main front, and that's where they stayed for days, you know, discussing the Cold War and how they can do it. So anyway, there you a bit of history on Iceland as well. So, but yeah, Iceland, no, there's no koi there, none that I could see. Whether if you went back in summer that you'd have better or not. Spoke to a few locals and they didn't know what I was talking about, which was interesting. So, but yeah, it was a lovely place, lovely people, lovely food. I think the best time to go maybe and get some better results would be in summer. So I might take another trip over there in summer. I don't know yet. We'll see how things go. But apart from that, fantastic. So I think we need to get on with some filters because I was halfway through when I left these, so let's crack on. Right, we're going to get these brushes back in. I'm considering with these brushes whether to get some of those swirled ones. I've seen a number of people on other channels, instead of doing the vertical ones, they've done those swirl ones. But at the moment, these seem to be doing the business for me, to be honest, so I'm going to keep hold of these. And now I've got my waste extractor sorted. I wouldn't have to take them out as often, to be honest. So once feeding starts, then these brushes will come into a lot more of their own then, because they'll start catching a lot more of the big bits and dumping them into the Vortex, and I can just now open the tap and swish them away. So that's good stuff. Right then, next job to do. I'm going to take the GoPro out for a spin, dump you in the water if you don't mind, just hold your breath, it won't be long, and go and see how the fish are doing, because we've not been in there for a little while, just while we were over in Reykjavík, and just see how it's going on. It's always good to get these GoPros are ace because you can get a really close-up and personal view of your fish to keep an eye on what's going on, because you know, as the winter goes on and these covers are on, you don't see a great deal of your fish, and it's nice to just get in with the GoPro and get up close and personal and just have a really good look at them. As you saw OJ in there, that was the kind of fish they reckoned that he had over in Reykjavík. I never found it. I've noticed as well that around my skimmer, I've got a floating skimmer in here still, that's I might take for a spin later on, is we're getting a bit of blanket weed growth. So I might just put the camera in just to have a quick look and see if it is or not. So it's around this time of year when it's almost the calm before the storm, because we're now in the new year, and this is the time of the year really when you've got to really keep an eye on what's going on in your pond, because the parasites, as soon as your water starts warming up, I believe your parasites start waking up first if you have them in your pond. And of course, because your fish haven't eaten for so long, they're very weak and their immune system's quite low, and they may start to struggle if your parasites try to take hold. So I've really got to keep an eye on these. So I'm going to be spending a little bit more time with the fish on a regular basis, just keeping an eye on things, just making sure things are ticking over quite nice, crossing my fingers we don't get any parasites problems like we did last year, because last year was a nightmare. It was what was it called, the super fluke. Hopefully we don't have none of that this year. And on that bombshell, thanks very much for watching. Please hit the subscribe, like, ting the bell for notifications, share to all your friends. Thanks very much for watching. This was Good Fed Lifestyle.